Nvidia Corporation is an American global technology company based in Santa Clara, California. Nvidia manufactures graphics processing units, as well as having a significant stake in manufacture of system-on-a-chip units for the mobile computing market. Nvidia's primary GPU product line labeled GeForce is in direct competition with AMD's Radeon products. Nvidia also joined the gaming industry with its handheld Nvidia Shield, as well as the tablet market with the Tegra Note 7. In addition to GPU manufacturing, Nvidia provides parallel processing capabilities to researchers and scientists that allow them to efficiently run high-performance applications. They are deployed in supercomputing sites around the world. More recently, Nvidia has moved into the mobile computing market, where it produces Tegra mobile processors for smartphones and tablets, as well as vehicle infotainment systems. In addition to advanced micro devices, its other competitors include Intel and Qualcomm. Company history, founders and initial investment. 3 people co-founded Nvidia in 1993, Jensen Huang, a Taiwanese-born American, previously director of Coreware at LSI Logic and a microprocessor designer at Advanced Micro Devices. Chris Malachowski, an electrical engineer who worked at Sun Microsystems. Curtis Priam, previously a senior staff engineer and graphics chip designer at Sun Microsystems. The founders received venture capital funding from Sequoia Capital. Major releases and acquisitions. The autumn of 1999 saw the release of the GeForce 256, most notably introducing on-board transformation and lighting to consumer-level 3D hardware. Running at 120 MHz and featuring 4-pixel pipelines, it implemented advanced video acceleration, motion compensation, and hardware sub-picture alpha blending. The GeForce outperformed existing products by a wide margin. Due to the success of its products, Nvidia won the contract to develop the graphics hardware for Microsoft's Xbox game console, which earned Nvidia a $200 million advance. However, the project drew the time of many of Nvidia's best engineers away from other projects. In the short term this did not matter, and the GeForce 2 GTS shipped in the summer of 2000. In 2000, Nvidia acquired the intellectual assets of its one-time rival 3DFX, one of the biggest graphics companies of the mid to late 1990s. In July 2002, Nvidia acquired Ixlana for an undisclosed sum. Ixlana made software rendering tools and the personnel were merged into the CG project. In August 2003, Nvidia acquired MediaQ for approximately $70 million. On April 22, 2004, Nvidia acquired iReady, a provider of high-performance TCP/IP and ISC offload solutions. December 2004 saw the announcement that Nvidia would assist Sony with the design of the graphics processor in the PlayStation 3 game console. In March 2006, it emerged that Nvidia would deliver RSX to Sony as an IP core, and that Sony alone would organize the manufacture of the RSX. Under the agreement, Nvidia would provide ongoing support to port the RSX to Sony's fabs of choice, as well as die shrinks to 65 nm. This practice contrasted with Nvidia's business arrangement with Microsoft, in which Nvidia managed production and delivery of the Xbox GPU through Nvidia's usual third-party foundry contracts. Meanwhile, in May 2005 Microsoft chose to license a design by ATI to make its own manufacturing arrangements for the Xbox 360 graphics hardware, as had Nintendo for the Wii console. On December 14, 2005, Nvidia acquired ULI Electronics, which at the time supplied third-party Southbridge parts for chipsets to ATI, Nvidia's competitor. In March 2006, Nvidia acquired Hybrid Graphics. In December 2006, Nvidia, along with its main rival in the graphics industry AMD, received subpoenas from the U.S. Department of Justice regarding possible antitrust violations in the graphics card industry. Forbes magazine named ɪnVID-eeə its Company of the Year for 2007, citing the accomplishments it made during the said period as well as during the previous 5 years. On January 5, 2007, ɪnVID-eeə announced that it had completed the acquisition of Portal Player, Incorporated. In February 2008, ɪnVID-eeə acquired Agaya Technologies for an undisclosed sum. Agaya developed the PhysX physics engine hardware and SDK. In April 2009, a court consolidated multiple class action suits into one case, titled the ɪnVID-eeə GPU litigation. ɪnVID-eeə agreed to replace faulty chips in or reimburse purchasers who already spent to get their laptop repaired. ɪnVID-eeə also gave replacement laptops to many users in lieu of making a repair. The replacements and payments were not made until the settlement was finalized in 2011. Users were required to show proof of purchase and mail in their original faulty laptop. The chips were present in a number of Dell and HP laptops, as well as 2 Apple MacBook Pro models. Although the settlement cost ɪnVID-eeə millions of dollars, many of the individuals were unhappy with the settlement, and multiple websites and blogs reflected this. The website entitled Fair ɪnVID-eeə Settlement was one such site. On January 10, 2011, ɪnVID-eeə signed a 6-year cross-licensing agreement with Intel, marking the end of all outstanding legal disputes between these two companies. According to the agreement, Intel agreed to pay ɪnVID-eeə $1.5 billion in licensing fees in 5 annual installments. On February 15, 2011, ɪnVID-eeə announced and demonstrated the first quad-core processor for mobile devices at the Mobile World Congress in Barcelona. It was announced that the chip was expected to ship with many tablets to be released in the second half of 2011, and the chip, dubbed the Tegra 3, was released on November 9, 2011. In May 2011, it was announced that ɪnVID-eeə had agreed to acquire ɪn'vɪdiə, a baseband chip-making company in the UK, for $367 million in cash. On July 29, 2013, Nvidia Corporation announced that they acquired PGI from ST Microelectronics. On January 6, 2013, Nvidia introduced at CES 2013, the Tegra 4 mobile processor, containing 72 GPU cores, a quad-core ARM Cortex-A15 CPU core, and LTE capability among its features. On February 19, 2013, Nvidia announced the Tegra 4i, its first fully integrated 4G LTE mobile processor, featuring 5 times more GPU cores than Tegra 3, 1080p HD support, and Nvidia Chimera computational photography architecture. On January 6, 2014, Nvidia introduced at CES 2014, the Tegra K1 mobile processor, containing 192 GPU cores and a quad ARM Cortex-A15 MPC Aura 3 Plus low-power companion core or dual-core Project Denver. As of February 2014, Nvidia claims that the Tegra K1 outperforms both the XBOX 360 and the PS3 hardware. Sales and market trends. According to a survey conducted by market watch firm John Peddy Research, Nvidia shipped an estimated 33 million graphics chips in the first quarter of 2010, for a market share of 31.5%. AMD and Intel shipped an estimated 25.15 million units and an estimated 45.49 million units respectively. Nvidia's year-to-year growth was 41.9%. In August 2011, Nvidia predicted the growth of its revenues would be 4% to 6%, instead of 4%, as analysts said. In September 2011, Nvidia forecast strong sales for 2013 in the region of $4.75 billion to $5 billion, which surpasses analysts' expectations of $4.45 billion. Product families. Nvidia's product portfolio includes graphics processors, wireless communications processors, PC platform chipsets, and digital media player software. Some of Nvidia's product families are GeForce, the gaming graphics processing products for which Nvidia is best known. Quadro computer-aided design and digital content creation workstation graphics processing products. Tegra, a system-on-a-chip series for mobile devices. Tesla, dedicated general-purpose GPU for high-end image generation applications in professional and scientific fields. And Force, a motherboard chipset created by ɪnVID-eeə for AMD Athlon and Duran microprocessors. The GPU of the original Xbox. The GPU of the PlayStation 3, RSX reality synthesizer. Free and open source software support. Until September 23, 2013, ɪnVID-eeə has not published any documentation for its hardware, meaning that programmers could not write appropriate and effective free and open source device driver for ɪnVID-eeə's products without resorting to reverse engineering. Instead, ɪnVID-eeə provides its own binary GeForce graphics drivers for Xorg and a thin open-source library that interfaces with the Linux, FreeBSD or Solaris kernels and the proprietary graphics software. ɪnVID-eeə also provided but stopped supporting an obfuscated open-source driver that only supports two-dimensional hardware acceleration and ships with the Xorg distribution. The proprietary nature of ɪnVID-eeə's drivers has generated dissatisfaction within free software communities. Some Linux and BSD users insist on using only open-source drivers, and regard ɪnVID-eeə's insistence on providing nothing more than a binary-only driver as wholly inadequate, given that competing manufacturers offer support and documentation for open-source developers, and that others release partial documentation and provide some active development. Because of the closed nature of the drivers, ɪnVID-eeə video cards cannot deliver adequate features on some platforms and architectures given that ɪnVID-eeə only provides x86/x64 driver builds. As a result, support for 3D graphics acceleration in Linux on PowerPC does not exist, nor does support for Linux on the hypervisor-restricted PlayStation 3 console. Some users claim that ɪnVID-eeə's Linux drivers impose artificial restrictions, like limiting the number of monitors that can be used at the same time, but the company has not commented on these accusations. As of January 31, 2014, ɪnVID-eeə's Alexander Corbett committed an extensive patch set which add initial support for the GK28 Tenuvo. Restatement: on February 14, 2002, the company restated the financial statements for the first 3 quarters of fiscal year 2002 and for the fiscal years 2001 and 2000 on Form 10-K for the fiscal year ended January 27, 2002, filed on May 14, 2002. The adjustments to revenue reflected an adjustment in the recording of deferred revenues and in the accrual of a certain customer program. Adjustments to cost of revenues reflected primarily the recording of manufacturing costs, as well as the timing of inventory write-downs. Adjustments to operating expenses reflect primarily the timing of the recording of accruals. See also. References. External links, official website, ɪnVID-eeə.com drivers download page, GeForce.com, official gaming community site.